portable air pump. I've got a little compressor air pump from Zethors. I want to do a little unboxing just to show you what's inside the box, what you get, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a description to explain what it is and how handy I think this little item is. So we'll start off by opening it up and showing you what's inside the box. You can see on the front there we've got a smart air pump suitable for cars, motorcycles, cycles and balls, you know, like sports balls and things like that. This will also do other things, including air beds and little items like that. It's got some instructions on the back there, or some information on the back there. Just quickly run through the spec for you, and then I'll take it out of the box and show you what we've got. So we've got material. We've got an ABC plus PC. This is an aluminium material, quite nice and lightweight. It's a battery capacity of 14.8 watts, which is a 7.4 volt battery, because this is rechargeable and you don't need to plug it in to operate it, which is quite handy. Charging time 2 to 3 hours. Inflation, I reckon it'll inflate between 0 to 150 psi, which is quite powerful. My van tyres, I normally have about 65 psi in them, so that should be handy for my van tyres. Max airflow of 35 litres per minute. Type C charging, so it's a USB-C charging port, and that's a 5 volt 2 amp. Product weighs 1.3 pounds, which is 590 grams. And a product size, we've got 152 by 105 by 48.8 millimeters, which is approximately 6 by 4 inches and an inch and a half, or inch 0.9 deep. So what we've got in the box is have a quick little quick look. What do we got in here, and show you what you're getting for your money's worth. So inside you can see you're getting this little bag. That's what you get. This is a bag, obviously, to keep it in, a little drawstring on it, which is quite handy. It's quite nice, especially if you're keeping it in your door of your van or your car or your rucksack. You've got somewhere to keep it nice and clean and tidy. You get an instruction manual. You can see on there it's a model XNP0110 smart air pump. You get your instructions with a couple of different languages in there. Tell you how to use it, but I've had a quick go of this and it's quite simple. In this end you get an extension lead, so there you get an extension, 30 centimeter extension, which is about a foot. This is for extending your tube on the pump, because the tubes on the pump tend to be a little bit small. This is also really good, a quick release one. You can actually pop it on the end, like if you're using for push bikes, put it down on a push bike, pop it down and it locks onto your tyre valve. So in here we've got our pump, so let's just move that out of the way. Oh, we've got something else in here. Let's have a quick look before we go any further. In here we've got a USB-C cable. This is obviously for charging, and we do have some other fittings. So you've got this one, which is what brings it down. I think that's what takes it down to the smaller, narrow bike tyres. We've got a small socket there. I'm not sure what these sockets are for. I should have a look in the instructions. We've got a slightly different one there, more of a pointy version, and these are one of those football ones that you poke inside your football for pumping in your football. I'm sure it tells you inside the manual what these are actually for. If I was to flick through and have a quick look for you, there's all your fittings at the bottom there. I'm sure that if you look through this manual, it will give you, there we go, some sort of an information to what these are for. A bike pump. We've got like blow up swimming rings and equipment like that, like maybe air beds and things. We've got our ball pump, and we've got our bicycle sizes on there as well. So they're all attached to the end of the pump. So everything's there for you. It's quite easy to use and quite easy to operate. Let's get these out of the way. This is our pump. You can see it's a nice little size. It's quite hand size. It's quite easy to carry, and it is aluminium. It's not overly heavy. You've also got some basic sizes air pressures on the back. You've got a car tyre, 31 to 36 psi, bike tyres 50 to 150 psi. You've got SUV tyres 31 to 40 psi, and you've got balls, sports balls 7 to 16 psi. So they're your average guides for pumping up things. There's a slight warning on the back there. Pressure ratings are recommended only, so you do need to check on your items before you pump them up. So on the side you've got this little attachment there. This is quite nicely set in the side. It's pushed in and it stays in there to keep it nice and snug. And on the end of this you've got that thread that screws onto the end of your tyres, on your bike valves or your car valves for pumping up. But like I said, this is slightly short, so what you would do is attach this to the end of this, and it all screws on, and you've now got a longer extension for pumping up your tyres. So it means you can pump up your tyres and you can leave it stood on the floor while you're doing it. You've also got this LCD screen on the front, so you press and turn it on. You can see you've got this lovely little LCD screen, and you've got these little displays on the front there. So we've got car, and I think we go across. That gives you our tyre pressures, so you can go up and down, plus and minus for your tyre pressures. I checked my tyre pressures yesterday and I set them to 35, which is where I normally have my car tyres set. We've got a cycle through the top, so you use our little R button, it goes over to motorbikes, and as you can see, as you flick through, it gives you that recommended size 45 set already for bikes. Go around to football, we're on 8, back to car 35, so it remembers what the settings are. So if you've got a push bike that you've got a standard setting, and then you go to car and your standard setting, it does keep it there. That's your PSI rating. Again, like I said, you can go up and down, and you've also got your charge on the front there. It's telling me I've got a full charge on it at the moment. You've also got a light, and you've got your USB socket on the front as well, on the top. So there's your light, and it's got 3 settings, I think this light has. So if we press it on, there's 1 setting. You press it on again, we've got an SOS. Absolutely fantastic. So if you're broken down, you can put this on and leave the SOS running, and it will give you a bit of a warning. So that's your pump. All we really need to do now is check it and see how it works. But very, very simple, just literally down and up. So what I'll do is I'm going to press up, and I'll take it up to about 60 psi, and I'm going to put it on my van and just give you a bit of a taster to what it sounds like and what it actually does. So let's go up to 60 psi. That should be enough to put a little bit of air into my in my van tyres. But what you can also do, bearing in mind I've got a van and a car, so on my car I can leave it to 35, and then if I go over to bike, I can actually maybe put the bike one up to 60, which I then know is going to be my van one. So I don't have, I don't have a bike to use, so if I can do it that way. So let's put that on 60, and then I can go over to my push bike, and I can set my push bike to whatever I want on that one, and I can go back to my car one, and I can drop that back down to 35, which is where I like to keep my car ones. There we go, simple as that. So all I've got to do now then is flick over to the bike one, which I know has got set to 60, and we'll give it a try on the old car. We've got our pump, and we're at the back of my van, and like I say, these things take between 55 and 60 psi. I've actually got a tyre pressure gauge as well, so if I just turn this on and just shove it in there, it tells me that I've got 54.3 on the scale there. I don't know if you can see that, hopefully you can. 54.3. So if I was to switch this on, press and hold the power button, brings it on like you can see there. It's just brought on the display. Hopefully you can see that okay. I'm just going to lay that down in front of the tyre and pop this on, and I'm hoping it's going to give me a reading. Now it's telling me I've got 55 psi, so it's pretty close to this 55, and this was 54.3. So then we're going to hit the power button, and we're going to kick it in and see how long it takes to go from 55 up to 60, which is what I recommended putting into my tyres. Okay, you can see when it gets to 60, it cuts out, and it cuts out on the setting that you've got it set to. So now let's just pop this off, and we'll just pop this on and have a quick look and see what we've got. This is telling me I've got 59.5, and you may have lost that half a little bit by taking the valve off, but that's pretty accurate between this and this. I'm not worried about half a pound or half a psi at all. So yeah, it works pretty good. It's a handy little gadget to keep in your van, just in case you need a little bit of air in your tyre. So it does say this thing will charge, it's got 2 times 3000 milliamp batteries inside, and it will charge, they recommend it will charge a car tyre 3 times 6 minutes, also a motorbike tyres 8 times 3 minutes, bike tyres 10 times, 2.5 minutes, and footballs or basketballs and stuff like that up to 44 times, 36 seconds, which is quite interesting really, isn't it? What else can I possibly tell you on here? We've got the light. The light's got 3 functions, which is the SOS. It says it's got a strobe, and it's also got a normal mode. So that I just need to have a little look and see how to get all 3 working. But it doesn't actually tell me on the instructions how to do that. But I've managed to get the SOS, and that's the most important one rather than the strobe. Safety hammer. They reckon it's got it's impact resistant enough to use this as a safety hammer for breaking glass. So yeah, I mean that may be handy to have it in your glove box if you get stuck in a vehicle and you can't get out of it, to be able to smash the window to get yourself out. Maybe you've had an accident or something like that. Also could be used if you're cycling and camping. You've got the light on the top there, which has got 100 lumens as well, which is quite handy. This little thing retails at $41.98 on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below for you. It may be an affiliated link, but it costs you nothing extra. There is actually a discount, I think, on this at the moment, and I think you can pick this up when this video goes out, which is the 8th of July, and I think it's reduced to £36 at the moment, which is pretty good, to be honest. We've got some tyre recommendations I'm going to put up on the screen for you as well. Car tyres, 195 per 65 R15s. They reckon it can be your pumping area to about 2.5 bar, 6 minutes. What else have we got on here? Scooter tyres and things. I'll put it up on the screen for you so you can have a little look at tyre inflation preferences. So we've got a honeycomb heat dispersion on the side as well. You can see there we've got this little vented honeycomb heat dispersion, and the pumps I think are in the bottom to take the air in. So when you're using it, lay it down rather than stand it up. I think that would be probably recommended. We've got safety performance improved by 30%. Service life promotes 50% better service life. Bearing temperatures between -4 and 120 Fahrenheit. So that's me done. That's our pump, our little Zethors pump. I think it's quite a handy little tool to use. I'd like to put it on a longer test. This is literally just an opening unboxing review and to show you how it works. I will put it through its tests and its paces, see how long it lasts, see how many tyres I get to pump up, and see what the battery long life, when you've got this left in the glove box or in the in the dory vehicle, see what the long lifeity, good word, is for it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give us that thumbs up, means a lot. Maybe share the video on your socials, and other people can have a quick look and see what other sort of things I do review. Ciao for now, see you soon. Ta-da.